According to some incredible reporting from Politico, Health and Human Services Secretary Tom Price, a man who pushes for massive spending cuts to federal programs that benefit the poor, spent around $60,000 in taxpayer money on private jets during just a 3-day period last week. That included a flight from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia and back on a 30-seat private charter at a cost of, and this is really astounding, $25,000. Now, here's the thing. D.C. and Philly are less than 150 miles apart, and there is no lack of options to get from one to the other. Price spent $25,000 of taxpayer money to charter the private jet. Even at the last minute, Politico reported a round-trip flight, which itself is a bit much. I mean, they're just 150 miles apart, would cost at most $725. That's a lot less than $25,000. Now, the most expensive last-minute train to Philly and back today, which is comfortable. You know, it's the Acela. You can sit there and kibitz. When we looked at it this afternoon, that was $544 per person. The cost to just drive there and back between gas and tolls, that comes in at $92, which means Price could have saved taxpayers over $24,000 if he just drove 2.5 hours there and back. Asked to explain, HHS told Politico that when commercial aircraft cannot reasonably accommodate travel requirements, charter aircraft can be used for official travel. But as Politico noted, Price's charter left Dulles Airport at 8:27, and a United Airlines flight departed for Philadelphia at 8:22. Remember, the $60,000 that Price spent on private jets came during just a 3-day period last week. Current and former staffers tell Politico he's been taking private jets for months. Someone knows exactly how unusual this kind of behavior is. Former White House Cabinet Secretary Chris Lu, who was also Deputy Secretary for the Department of Labor under President Obama, and he joins me now. And Chris, did you take a lot of private chartered jets when you were the person in the White House that was liaising with various cabinet heads? Right. Was this a standard thing that you guys would do?
Absolutely not. This was not a standard thing. I guess Tom Price probably didn't want to ride on a plane with the people whose health care he's taking away. But seriously, I mean, leaving aside the cost, who thinks the fastest way from D.C. to Philadelphia is taking a plane? You could have driven it much faster.
You cannot pay me to drive to Dulles in any iteration. The idea that you would drive to Dulles and take a charter jet is insane. Just FYI.
But Chris, literally every single day, I can point to something that the Trump administration is doing that would have gotten us fired in the Obama White House. And you'll remember back in 2011, there was this whole controversy about muffins that might have cost $16 at a Department of Justice conference. That turned out not to be the case. But you had senators like Chuck Grassley and Jeff Sessions, you know, in an uproar. And I haven't heard that kind of uproar from Republicans.
That is a deep pull. I had forgotten the $16 muffin, but that was actually a thing for like a week.
That actually was a thing. And, you know, we've just had week after week, and it's not just Price's jet. Last week, we were talking about Mnuchin wanting to get a government jet for his honeymoon. He took the jet to Kentucky to see the eclipse. This is part of a broader pattern. When you've got a president who doesn't take ethics seriously, this flows down to his cabinet. Absolutely not. We did not take private jets. I will say this. The rare exception is when you're going to a very remote place, like you're seeing tornado damage, or you have to make multiple stops within the same day. You can make the request, but you have to go through a detailed cost justification. And this is not something we did regularly in the Obama administration.
Now, I mean, it is their prerogative, right? I mean, different administrations, they have their own budgets. The money is appropriated by Congress, right? So if the HHS or the Trump administration wants to say, we're going to allocate millions of dollars so that our secretary flies around on charter jets, they can do that legally, right? I mean, it's just a question of priorities.
No, I mean, Chris, that's exactly right. I mean, you've pointed out that Price is supporting a budget that cuts medical research. HHS is already cutting advertising for Obamacare. They're already cutting budgets for the navigators to help people sign up. So I don't even actually, I'll defer to the ethics experts on whether this is allowed or not. But this is a poor use of government resources that could go to people who really need the assistance.
Yeah, I'm expecting a story. We're going to learn out that he flew from like one quadrant of D.C. to the other on a charter jet as the next story. All right, Chris Lu, thanks for being with me tonight.
Thank you.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.